Hello and welcome back to Mrs. B's Budgets. I'm Mrs. B and this is our journey to pay off nearly £50,000 in debt. If you'd seen my last video, you'd see how we've accrued all that debt. And in this video I thought I'd go through what our income, what our expenditure was, and our budget now that we've been figuring out over the last few months. To try and work out how we're going to repay that. We have obviously considered things like consolidation, but at the moment our credit scores are too low to be able to get any loans to consolidate. But also, just like to take this moment just to thank everybody that's commented and subscribed and watched the video. It's been amazing, your support, your suggestions. I can't thank you enough. It's made me feel so much less alone. It made me realise that we are really not the only ones going through this at the moment. The cost of living crisis has put so much pressure on so many people, not just in the UK, but in the States and other countries as well. So thank you all. Look, I have taken your suggestions on board. I've looked up the people you've suggested, such as Dave Ramsey and Martin Lewis. I've looked at them and I've taken them on board. I think the way we are looking at going is slightly a slightly adjusted debt snowball. The debt snowball itself, starting with our smallest to our largest, doesn't quite work for us because some of our debts, as you'll see down here, are at the moment interest-free, and I would like to get the interest-free ones paid off before they accrue interest, because if I don't, they accrue interest from the year before the buy one get one free. Sort of the way they work is obviously we've had a year to pay it. If we don't pay it by the end of the year, we accrue a year's worth of interest. So with that said, I want to get them paid off first, and then we will snowball the amounts that I'm paying at the moment monthly towards them, towards some of the ones where the interest is costing us money. So here's our expenditure. Mr. B, he works full-time. He works nights every day of the week. Sorry, excuse me. And he also does a day's overtime every week. So he's working six nights a week at the moment. And to do that, he brings us in around £2,000 a month. That is paid weekly, around £500, and that is after all our taxes. Here in the UK, we don't do our own taxes. That's taken out before our paycheck hits our bank balance. And you pay income tax and national insurance. Our income tax pays for government spending, so things like benefits, pensions, such things like that. And our national insurance pays for our NHS. We don't really even notice the amounts well, we do when we see the amounts coming out on our paycheck, but they're never something we have to budget for. They're always something that is just taken out before our money reaches us. So out of his £2,000 a month, we are paying around £520 in rent a month. Now this is extremely low for the UK. That is because we are a council tenant. So our housing is provided for us because we're on a lower income, and it's provided for us by our local council. Should we have to private rent for a 3-bed house in the area we're in, we would be looking at around £1,250 to £1,500 a month, and that would be obviously most of our income. So it's not really doable for us at all. His also pays for our gas and electric. Now, like everybody in the UK, and I'm assuming America as well at the moment, gas and electric prices have soared. And ours has doubled over the last year. We were paying around 120 for both our gas and electric before the cost of living crisis kicked in, the war in Russia, etc. So ours is now £250 per month for our gas and electric. For food, we budget £400 a month for the 5 of us. We've got obviously 3 growing children. One of them's a teenager, so they eat a lot. So we've budgeted £400 a month from that, I do try and get it under every month, and I'll explain every week, and I'll explain more about that in another video. His money then covers the 3 credit cards. So at the moment we are paying for minimum payments £400 on the largest credit card. We are paying £280 on the second largest credit card and £250 on our smallest credit card. These are minimum payments. And what we've decided is that we will fix our payments at these. His wages is then discounted from any other spending we need to do. This totals £2,100 every month without fail, and we just discount his wages completely then. So then my wages covers everything else, any other spending we have to do. We also have other bills, obviously, such as our water. We have a course that we're paying for our eldest daughter, who no longer lives at home, so she can get a qualification. We have other bills in there, such as obviously our council tax, and our, I can't actually remember what else is in our bills. A few insurances, I think. So all of our insurances, they total, all of our bills, sorry, they total around £167 per month. Sorry, I've just realised I didn't tell you my income. I work 24 hours a week with my main job. I'm a carer, a care home for the elderly. I also work as a carer for a young lad with autism. My main job in the care home, that brings me in around £1,036 every month. My care work for the young lad with autism, that can vary. That the amount of hours I do with that one depends on his needs. Some months he will need more care, some months he will need less. So I don't allow that in our fixed budget expenses. I have fixed expenses, and then I have more variable expenses. So the first ones I'm going to show you are our fixed expenses. They come out of my main income, my £1,036 every month. So I cover our diesel, and our diesel is currently coming in at £100 for 4-week months and £125 for 5-week months. So the budget has to move and flex a little bit depending on whether there's 4 weeks or 5 weeks when it comes to our diesel. I am just starting to try and get us an emergency fund. At the moment, all that's left that I can put into an emergency fund is £25 a month. Now, I know that sounds ridiculous. I know that's nowhere near enough, but at the moment, it's more to get us into the habit of putting something away as an emergency fund than actually how much the emergency fund has. We haven't got the money to put thousands into an emergency fund straight away, so anything is better than nothing. So we're putting £25 into an emergency fund every month. Insurance. Obviously, this is a car insurance, and this is actually for our 2024 car insurance. This year's car insurance is being paid in monthly in with this one. I want to reduce our monthly bills, so I'm saving up for next year's insurance so we can pay it in one sum, which will actually save us some money as well. That one gets £25 a month, and that should be enough to cover our insurance for 2024 once it comes in. My kids have money that they need for school. They have clothes costs, obviously, school uniform costs. At the moment, we are putting away £60 a month. This one I'm classing as slightly a variable cost. So on the months when I need a little bit more for our diesel, it will come out of the kids' money and will then adjust. So some months they get 60, some months they actually only get 35. Clubs, the children also have clubs they go to. My son is actually home educated. My girls school suited them absolutely fine, and they love it, and they made friends very easily. My little boy, when he went into school, he ended up getting picked on quite badly. He has a speech delay, which made him very difficult to understand. And even though he was telling the teachers he was being picked on and bullied because they didn't understand him, he was very much just given a pat on the head and told to go and play nicely. That developed into him then developing a stutter and starting to wet himself. And at 5 years old, to be told by a speech therapist that your child is severely stressed, and that was causing his speech stutter, that was quite distressing. So we actually took him out of school, and we now home educate him. So there are a few expenses that we cover for that, but it's well worth it because now he's a different child. He really is a different child. So the clubs and things, we actually pay £42 a month for those. And then there's pets. We have a few dogs. Our male dog needs to be castrated. So at the moment I'm just popping £25 a month away. Now he's old enough to get castrated. We will get that done. We're popping £25 a month away for that. Then we come to my debts. Like I say, we have buy now pay laters, which are these ones that have dated here. So to complete this one, we need £161 a month. That will be paid off in April. That will then be clear. For the July one, we are putting away currently £50 a month. That will then be cleared at the end of June, beginning of July. I'll show you how this money rolls over further in budgets later on through the year. But this is just our current, this will be what my March wages covers. I have one for August. That one's £60 per month. I have one for October. That needs £100 a month. December. That needs £37 a month. And then there's actually one in February, because as soon as I decided we were going to budget, not put any more on the buy now pay laters, my washing machine packed up, as it does. So we had to buy a new washing machine, and once again we had no money, we had no emergency fund, so I put it on a buy now pay later. So that's currently costing £30 a month. Then we have Next, which is obviously clothes. I'm currently putting £80 a month on Next. This is one that's costing us interest. Our minimum payment for Next is actually only around £40 a month, £35 to £40 a month, but I want it clear. So this month it's getting £80 out of the budget. And as these get paid off, they will then roll on to Next until Next is clear. Then as Next is clear, Next will roll, all that money will then roll over onto PayPal, and they'll get that one clear. Then once my debts are clear, I will then start putting more towards our credit cards. But at the moment, this is all we can do. This is our total amount of money. So PayPal currently gets £50 a month. And again, these are fixed payments. So PayPal will just be under £50 a month this month. I'll still pay £50. And that will get paid every month then until we start rolling these over onto it. Excuse me. Everybody in my house is sick at the moment. I'm lucky I haven't got it, but I can feel it coming. So these fixed costs, they are my complete wages. So these fixed costs and these fixed costs, they all come to £1,036 a month. That's what we're using fixed payment wise. We also have income wise, obviously, my work as a carer for the young lad with autism. As I said, that one varies. So depending on how many hours I work. It's currently around, it's paid by the council to give his mum a break and some support. And they pay around £10 an hour for a carer. It's about £10.42, I believe. So depending on the amount of hours I do, depends on the amount. That money, as well as what we get something here called child benefit. It's paid, another thing, it's paid by the government. It's a government scheme. Anybody who has children gets something like £20 something for their first child and £10 for their second and third. Just over, I think it's actually £11 now, sorry. But for our 3 children, that works out at £50.70 per week. So that money, as well as the money from my hours as a carer, that will get split between our variable funds weekly. So that will pay for things that hopefully will prevent us from going back into debt. So that will get split between children's days out, gifts, birthdays, things like that are hopefully in Christmas savings. It's not a lot. Completely understand £50 isn't a lot to save on a weekly basis. £50 is nothing, but it's what we have. As you can see, our debts and our regular bills take up all of mine and my husband's main incomes, and this is basically what we have left to spend weekly on other things that might crop up. It's like I say, we've been doing this now for the month, and actually we have made it do. We've made it last, and it's doable until our debts are paid, and then we can reevaluate how we spend our money. We have things that we can sell. My husband has a collection of football shirts dating right back to the 70s. So we will be looking eventually at selling those. I have a collection of books and things. So again, they're things that we have what's called car boots here in the UK. They're a bit like your garage sales, but instead you go to a big field, you fill up your car boot with as much stuff as you can get in it, and you go and sell it in this field. And believe it or not, people do come and buy it. So we may do some car boots in the summer. We may maybe do some eBay sales with things like his football shirts, see if we can get any more money in. But as for our regular spending, this is what we have. Well, I think that's it for this video. Sorry to waffle on again. I just want to thank you all again. If you've got this far, you've done amazingly. Your support means so much to me, you wouldn't believe. It's so nice to know when you know you're not alone. I will let you know how this works over the next few months. I'll let you know how weekly, what I might do. My child benefit comes in on a Tuesday, so I might try and do a video to show you how I split this one up. Like I say, £50 isn't a lot, but we are managing it, surprisingly enough. So yeah, I may do another video on a Tuesday to let you know how that's split up. But for now, that's everything. Thank you once again. Hope to see you all back. Lovely to see so many people have subscribed. Thank you. Bye bye.